Good morning. You look like you're waiting for me. I'm Ree, the tour guide. You're here for the 3 o'clock. You are in the right place, and at the right time. Well done, you. No, it's fine. It's just, I have a bit of a headache today. That's all. Just right behind my eyeballs. Like something's trying to claw its way out of my forehead. You know what I mean? Yeah, it happens. But I'm still here. Still ready to go. Never let anyone say I wasn't committed to my job. Okay then, are we ready to start? Fabulous. Welcome to the zoo. Is this your first time here? Well, an extra special welcome to you then. This world-renowned zoo is famous for its commitment to conservation and its exceptional collection of animal species. This tour will specifically focus on the Australian section of the zoo. If you'd like to get to know some of the other areas as well, they have their own tours that happen a few times a day. Definitely check those out. Each area has a lot of its own personality, a lot of unique flavor, and of course, animals that are very specific to that region. Come this way, please. We'll start over here. Very good. Like I said, my name is Ree. I've been working at the zoo for altogether too long. I've mostly worked here in the Australian pavilion, despite the fact that I am very obviously not Australian. I just really like the interesting and sometimes terrifying animals that you can really only find in this one corner of the world. A few words of caution before we continue. Some of these animals are legitimately dangerous. Some will happily tear your face clean off if they can. Do me a favor and don't give them a chance to do that. Keep your hands, arms, feet, and faces as far from the animals as possible. If the animals are behind glass, don't tap on the glass or make faces at the animals. It tends to rile them up and make them very angry. Once they get angry, they will memorize your face and search for ways to escape their enclosure so they can follow you home and eat you at the earliest opportunity. I don't know what's so funny. I've seen it happen before. Okay then, consider yourself warned. 1 second, I'm going to take this ibuprofen. There we go. Maybe that'll take the edge off this headache. Now, our first animal friend today is the koala. There he is, just chilling up there in that tree. You see him? Koalas are not bears, despite what some incredibly stupid people believe. They are marsupials. They have pouches that their babies stay in for the early part of their lives. They are plant eaters, mostly eucalyptus, and I'll be honest, they barely move. These animals sleep up to 20 hours each day. They do almost nothing interesting. They barely even socialize with each other, and a huge number of them in the wild have chlamydia. But they're cute, so people love them. I can't argue with it. I think they're adorable. Did you get a good look? Very good. Did you want a photo or something? No worries. You can find photos online that are way cuter than this dude. Now then, on we go. Here we have the famous kangaroo, another well-known Australian animal. The kangaroo is also a marsupial, so it has a pouch for its young. They're the only large animal that uses hopping to get around instead of, walking or running. They are pretty funny looking, but make no mistake, they can be dangerous. In Australia, 9 out of 10 animal collisions with cars involve a kangaroo. And since they're big, muscular critters, the cars are often totaled from the impact. If you drive in Australia, you'll see a lot of kangaroo crossing signs in an effort to minimize these sorts of impacts, but there are so many of the signs that you stop noticing them pretty quickly. Anyway, I like the kangaroos. They're pretty interesting. They can communicate with humans, although these here haven't tried to communicate with me yet. Maybe I'm not interesting enough for them. Any questions about the kangaroos or the koalas? Wonderful. Again, you can find a lot of this information online or in the gift shop where we sell informational posters, cards, books, and games all about these amazing creatures. Now, over here, speaking of amazing creatures, this is the yowie, also known as the hairy man. Hang on, he's hiding again. He does this a lot, like all the time. Come on, little guy, come on out. Come on, I have snacks. Let's give him a minute, see if he appears. In the meantime, a little bit about the yowie. The yowie is sort of like the Bigfoot you hear about in American stories. Big, muscular, hairy. Sightings of the yowie go back to the 1700s. For a long time, it wasn't proven that they existed, but we have one here now, so that's pretty much proof positive. Or it would be if he ever came out. Don't worry, he will eventually, when he gets hungry. No, he doesn't eat people that we know of. We mostly feed him fruit and nuts and fish. He seems to like those. He's also not as dirty or unkempt as you might think. No, he's very clean. Although he does go through a lot of conditioner. Alright, since he doesn't seem to want to say hi, let's move on. Now we're getting into some of the more dangerous creatures on the tour. Please put on these hard hats and these goggles. Just do it or we can't continue. It's an insurance thing. We don't want the liability. Oh, you signed a waiver when you booked the tour. You might not have noticed it. The print was very fine, but it was there. Nothing that happens to you is our fault legally, but it's still bad form if we let something hurt you without at least attempting to stop it. So put on the hat and goggles. Thank you. There are a few Australian critters that have a way of attacking from above. The first is in here, the Australian magpie. It looks a bit like a European magpie, but the two are not related. Australian magpies are excellent songbirds. They have a wide range of vocalizations that they can do. They live around people, they can recognize faces, and in the spring, during their mating season, they can become quite aggressive. In order to protect their nests, they will do something called swooping, which is basically attacking people that they perceive to be a threat to their nests. This is not remotely a joke. Ask any actual Australian what animal they fear, and the magpie will almost always be on the list. These birds can truly ruin your day if you're not careful. Don't look directly at them. Don't try to approach them, and if a baby magpie falls out of its nest, leave it alone. Good question. Usually it's the males who do the swooping, and they tend to go for smaller people, people who are alone, and people who are moving quickly. So, stay in groups, move casually, and be as tall as you can. Got it? Good. No, my headache was not caused by a swooping magpie, but it might as well have been. Now then, this way, please. All right, over here you must continue to be very careful. This is the drop bear exhibit. Who told you that? Drop bears are entirely real. You seriously think the whole of Australia got together and decided to make up a dangerous animal just to mess with tourists? That's ludicrous. Drop bears are real and they're extremely dangerous. They are related to koalas in that they are marsupials that hang out in trees, but they are larger and far more aggressive than koalas. They tend to be the size of a large dog and have very sharp teeth because they are meat eaters, usually medium-sized mammals. They will stay quietly up in the trees, sometimes for hours at a time, and then drop down onto their prey to make the kill. When drop bears attack people, it's not usually fatal, but bites and scratches are common. It's best to use caution and, where possible, drop bear repellent. We actually sell drop bear repellent in the gift shop. I highly recommend it if you plan to be in an area where drop bears are common. For now, you can see one just up there on that branch. It's not dead and it's not fake, it's sleeping. They sleep a lot. But when it wakes up, watch out. Don't worry, we'll be well away from here by then. Despite how dangerous they are, I do like the drop bears. I think they can be quite sweet when they want to be. I'm hoping that they want to be sometime soon. I've been trying to win them over for a long time. Okay, now, into here, please. Watch your head. Yes, I know it's tight. Just keep walking. You'll get there. There's an opening here in the end. There you go. Well done. This enclosure is isolated from the others because the creature in it is one of the scariest and most dangerous we have here at the zoo. Keep your hard hats and goggles on, please. All right, here we have the famed, the terrifying, the nightmare-inducing Bunyip. This is where you ooh and ah. What? Who is telling you that these animals are imaginary? You know, just because a creature has a legendary past doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Well, that's just silly. I feel like people are saying that just to keep people from getting too scared. But you know what? Some things you should be scared of. And this is one of them. You can't say it doesn't exist when it's right in front of you, right? Well, there you go. Come on, take a look. Peek in through there. Very carefully. You see it? Over there to the right. Yep, right in there. No, that's a bunyip. Yes, it is. Stop arguing. My head hurts too much for this. Now, the bunyip is generally amphibious and spends a lot of time in water like swamps and rivers. You can see what they look like. Most people say the bunyip is larger than they expect it to be. Bunyips have a loud call, almost like a roar. It's scary. It scares small children especially. Australian parents will often display some solid parenting skills by telling their children that the bunyip will get them if they misbehave. No, it's legit. Bunyips seek out children who don't listen to their parents. It's very well established. I feel like you're not taking me seriously. Keep in mind that this is my job. I've worked here a long time, and I know these creatures better than anyone. Well, that's your opinion, but let me be the one to tell you, your opinion is wrong. Whatever you say, the customer is always whatever, blah, blah, I need this ibuprofen to kick in already. Oh, right, the tour. You know what? I'm just not feeling it today. I'm going to give you some vouchers for a future tour so you can come back when I'm not so out of sorts. Maybe by then you can learn a little something about the bunyip and the other animals you've seen today, and you can acknowledge that they are in fact real. I guess we'll find out. Here you go. Vouchers for you. And again, I recommend you stop by the gift shop and check out the great souvenirs that you can take home with you, including a stuffed plushy bunyip that is somehow both adorable and scary. You're welcome. Thanks for joining me on today's tour of the Australian Pavilion. I hope you had a great time. Whatever. God. I've done this a few too many times. Yeah, so bye-bye. Have a good one. See you next time. Something Animal Zoo. Happy conservation time. Right back at you. Hey, sweetness. If you like what you hear, don't forget to click subscribe so you can hear more. Also, check me out over on Twitch. And if you want to support me, Patreon. Thanks for listening.